Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm finally back to make a new video. It's been such a long time, but I needed a break to finish organizing my wedding with Pawel, and it finally happened on the 2nd of July. It's been actually almost 4 weeks ago, but now I managed to find the time to sit down and get back to film. So my first video after this long time off of YouTube is gonna be my wedding makeup. So without any further ado, let's get into it. On my wedding day, I managed to have a bit of extra time because me and my mom went to the hairdresser right across the street where we were sleeping. We had our hair done in less time than what we were expecting. I woke up quite early in the morning because I couldn't really sleep anyway the night before, and I've done all the masks and everything. So I've done a detox mask, then I've done a hydrating mask, then I put some eye patches, and I've done a lip mask, and then I put the moisturizer on. Then we went to the hairdresser, and then when we got back I put another layer of moisturizer and some lip balm, so that was going to absorb while I was doing my mom's makeup. I used all products that I did use before, that I trusted, that I knew they work on me. I used two primers. I already applied them. I used the Flawless and Poreless by Pixi in the T-zone. I basically pressed it in my pores, especially in this area, and then on the rest of my T-zone. And then for the rest of my face, I use the Hangover Primer by Too Faced. As a foundation, I use the Born This Way foundation. The way my skin is when I use this foundation is absolutely flawless. It looks photoshopped. That's why I went with this one. I've got a bit of a tan at the moment because we got back from our honeymoon, and we managed to get a bit of sun, so I hope this is gonna be my color. I did take my time to do my makeup on the day, but to be honest, it was surprisingly quick because I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to look. I wanted a super simple makeup, nothing too much, because yes, Pawel is used to see me with makeup, but I didn't want to change like the shape of my eyes or the shape of my face, because I didn't want him to have the feeling that he was marrying a completely different person. For my eyebrows, I use the brow pomade by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm taking this brush to brush my brows, and this teeny tiny brush. This is gonna help me to be very precise because I didn't want very strong and structured brows. But we got married on the 2nd of July at the Eastbury Manor House in Acne. The staff is so professional. The girl that is being taking care of us, her name is Matilda. She's such a professional, such a sweet girl. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure working with her, because I haven't been like this classic bridezilla person. I wanted to be in control, but because obviously it was my first wedding, I never had to organize one. I never even had to help anyone organizing one, because when it was my best friend's wedding last year, I was here, so I didn't have to go through the whole process and see what needs to be done or not. And then I remember in one of the meetings with Matilda, I went there very confident that I was at a good point with organizing everything, and then she started asking, oh, have you done this, have you done that? And I realized I haven't done like 3/4 of the stuff that I was supposed to do. So you can see the difference. I haven't done much. This brow looks way fuller than this one, but still natural. My dress was from a place called Atelier May. The boutique I went to is the one in Milan because I'm from there. It was a beautiful, beautiful lace gown without without a big train because I didn't want it. The staff at Atelier May has been so professional. I couldn't be happier. The tailor did such an amazing job. All the alteration that she had to do, and that dress was super comfortable. I thought it was gonna be heavier because when I lifted it, it felt very heavy, but then it was very comfortable throughout the day. And Pawel wore a fantastic blue suit with a white shirt and a pink tie. And he looked so nice on the wedding day, honestly. He was very nervous. He said he wasn't, but he was. I could see it. As a primer for my eyelids, I'm using the primer portion by Urban Decay. In both Italy and Poland, normally the lunch or the dinner for a wedding is like 100 courses, and then no one ever has space for the cake. I wanted people to actually enjoy the cake, and I didn't want to make a cake for like a certain amount of people and then I was gonna basically take all of it at home. So we had starters and mains, and that was it. As a starter we have like a salad of salmon and peas. As a main we had 3 different types of lamb cooked in 3 different ways. It was just delicious. Everyone loved the food. So thank you Kirsty, she was our chef for our wedding and she's been absolutely brilliant. Like, she's one of those people that I cannot thank enough, because that's the point. Like, when you plan your wedding, go with professionals, so you're sure that the moment you pick someone, they know what they're doing and you don't have to run after them and make sure that everything is done the way that you want. We sat down, we went to do the tasting, we decided that that's what it was gonna be, and then that's exactly what we had on the day. She did all the canapes before the lunch, 5 different types of canapes before the lunch with the Prosecco reception. For my eyes, I went back to the Naked original palette. This is the best palette I've ever used. I wanted to have a natural look, natural eyes, so I knew that this was gonna be the palette that I was gonna use at the wedding. I'm gonna start defining my crease, and for the crease I use Naked and Back mixed together. For the photographer, I was a bit panicking over the photographer because, like, basically we wanted to do a wedding on a budget. I didn't know how expensive photographers can be. The first ones that we were contacting, they were all asking for like at least £1,200 for like from 1 o'clock till 7 o'clock. Then I was talking to Celia, who has been one of my witnesses, and her girlfriend started having a look online and she found a few photographers she put me in contact with, and we found this guy. His name is Mariusz, and he's a Romanian guy, and he's been, again, a professional because that's his job. Came to the hotel despite having like the tiniest hotel room that we could ever have. He managed to take some pictures in the room with the dress and of all the accessories that I had. He made me feel so comfortable. He really makes you feel like the most beautiful person in the whole room. For the actual lid, I'm gonna go in with Sin, which is this shimmery pink. Press it all over the lid. If you're losing a bit of the brown, don't worry, because we're gonna get back into that. I was talking to Pawel 2 weeks before the wedding. I was like, oh my god, we've been so lucky with everything. I hear about like horror stories of brides where like anything that could go wrong goes wrong. 2 weeks before the wedding, the agency that was taking care of the Airbnb my parents were supposed to go to emailed me saying that they didn't have the Airbnb available anymore. This was 5 days before I was supposed to do the check-in with my mom, because my mom came to help me out a week before the wedding, just in case. And they emailed me maybe 4 days, not even 5, before I was supposed to come to London with my mom, going like, oh, we're very sorry, your Airbnb is not available anymore, but we can find, like, so they gave me 3 options, either giving me a refund straight away, or find me another Airbnb, or I don't remember, something else. For the outside corner, I'm using the gray gunmetal, so I'm really concentrating on the outer corner, and I'm gonna blend anyway. So I was like, look, it's like, if you have anything else, just let me know, because it's just 4 days before we're supposed to land. I don't have the time now to go and look for another place. I went to look actually, and all the places that were left were obviously the most expensive ones. They were like £400 a night in the area where the first Airbnb was booked. So what they did, they told me that they had another place available in the other side of London, and I had to pay a difference of £650. I talked to my dad, and he was like, look, just keep the apartment, because we need a place where to stay. We got the house. They made us pay the difference, although it was their mistake. When they asked me for a review, I put it on the review that, so this is how we've been treated, blah 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 blah, and no one got back to me. No one got back to me ever. I was supposed to do a 3 o'clock check-in. They texted me at 1 o'clock saying that no one would have been there for the check-in, so we had to do a self check-in, go to Anisa shop to pick up the keys. No one came to check the house when they did the checkout. It was just ridiculous. I had no words for this agency. Like, I actually feel bad for the landlord, because he's trusting an agency to deal with his house and making sure that like everything goes smooth. And if this is like how they treat all the customers that they get in contact with, then I'm gonna go in with the concealer. I wanted a concealer that I was 101% sure that it wasn't gonna crease, and the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, this is the best concealer. It just doesn't crease. It didn't crease for like hours. But before doing that, what I've done, it was like putting some makeup, spraying the fixing spray, and then put some more makeup, and then fix spray again. I use the Huda Beauty spray. If you don't like strong scents, this is not for you. I saw that every single Huda Beauty product has a very strong scent, and if you're a person that just doesn't like scents, especially if they're that strong, just don't get this one. It's amazing. Like, my makeup stayed put from, I think I did my makeup at like 11 o'clock. I started doing my makeup. I got back home at midnight and my makeup was still there. So nothing to say about that, but it's a very strong scent. You know, it almost smells like hairspray, but more of a sweet version of a hairspray. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very, very strong. It smells a bit like the foundation, but it's a stronger smell. A very similar disappointing experience happened with the DJ as well, with the difference that the DJ was actually a person that I knew. We used to work together, me and this girl, and I started working with her last November, so November 2018. And you know, people were asking, what am I doing, what am I up to, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm planning my wedding. And I was still like, I didn't know anything. The only thing that I knew was the person that was supposed to do the food, which was Kirsty, and we knew the location. We were talking, and this person was like, oh, you know, I'm studying to become a DJ. I would like to DJ for your wedding. That's what I mean when I'm like, just go with professionals. I was like, look, my wedding is not gonna be a big wedding, so just start with mine, and then, you know, it's always something extra that you have on your CV. And if you get in the industry of the weddings, you can actually get quite a bit of money. I'm setting my under eye with the banana powder by Revolution. This is one of the best things that Revolution ever made. I'm gonna set just the under eye with this one. In January, we finalized the whole thing. She wanted me to meet with the guy she's working with, and he was like, oh, I think it's better if we do a contract, blah blah blah. So they were asking me £600 in total, which I found out is more than what a professional DJ, which is what I got at the end, was gonna ask me. They asked me a £250 deposit, which is more than anyone asks. But then she was like, she told me, oh, you know, I have to renew my license to play, and because I still don't have my own equipment, I will have to rent it. And I was like, look, it's fine, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna give you the money, and just make sure that everything is ready. Prepare a playlist for me to listen to so I can approve it. The powder is gonna go mainly in the T-zone, and then whatever I have left on the brush, that is what is gonna go on the perimeter of my face, just to make sure that the bronzer and the blush and the highlighter are gonna blend perfectly. I send her the deposit, and then unfortunately she loses her job in the restaurant that we're both working for. 2 weeks before the wedding, I text her with the number that she gave me, asking if everything was fine, if she was ready for the wedding, if I could have like the final playlist, just to make sure that everything was fine. It looks like my phone is not sending the text, and then I found out that I actually had her old number. When she changed it, she didn't give it to me. I ended up contacting her on Facebook, and she told me that she wasn't gonna be able, the day after that I texted her, she told me that she wasn't gonna be able to come to the wedding because of the money, because she lost a job and she didn't have the money to renew her license and to rent all the equipment. And I was like, that is money that you were supposed to have spent already, because I gave it to you on purpose. 2 weeks before the wedding, I found myself having to find another DJ. So now I'm gonna finish my under eyes. 2 weeks before the wedding, I found myself having to find a new DJ, not knowing where to start from, and not knowing if I'm gonna manage to find someone 2 weeks before the wedding. I found this guy online with 25 years of experience, who had a slot free on the 2nd of July, and I honestly almost cried when he told me he was available. He doesn't have a bad review, he doesn't, just good ones. I'm a true believer that things do happen for a reason. Even if I was beyond upset for what happened and how it happened, I was so happy with the guy that we got at the end, because the dance floor was full throughout the whole evening. It was amazing. No one stopped dancing for a minute. There was always someone on the floor, and because Pawel is Polish, at one point he put like Polish songs on, and they all went crazy. It was so good. Despite being very angry, very upset, also because he didn't give me my deposit back yet. Always go with professionals. Unfortunately, I learned it the tough way. Same brush, I'm picking up a bit of the gray, and I'm just gonna go halfway in with it. Flowers, I found like a flower here in Ealing, which is with the area where we live. They didn't do the delivery all the way to the house where we were getting married because it's on the opposite side of London. They did deliver here in our house. Pawel took everything to the location. Then I'm gonna take Virgin, and this is gonna go in the inner corner under my eyebrow. Flowers, they were absolutely beautiful. We didn't have too many fresh flowers because I always think that the flowers that you spend for the money that you spend for the flowers are literally money that go in the bin, because they are going in the bin after a few days. We just did basically a long arrangement for the table where we did the ceremony, and that we moved it to the table where we had the reception in front of me and Pawel, and then we left it at the location to keep it as a decorational thing. My friend Patri, she kept some gin bottles at work on the side for me after they were used. I used them to do some centerpieces. On the Sunday before the wedding, me and my mom, we went to the flower market, and then I made these centerpieces. They were very simple but very beautiful, very cute. They looked so good in the room after they set up all the tables. To define the lash line, I'm using just a pinch of crepe, which is this black. So it has a bit of shimmer in it, and I broke it, but like I'm gonna use such a tiny bit that you're not gonna see any shimmer. It's just gonna define the lash line, and it's gonna make it look a bit thicker. I'm gonna go very close to the lash line. For the cake, we went with this Polish shop. It's called Sova. Again, they're very, very good. The cake was delicious. That's it. For car, we didn't rent any car because there was just, again, money that could have been saved, and we did save. I still think that you can have a beautiful day like the one that we had without having to spend a ton of money. So we've done a lot of things ourselves, and that took a long time. That's why I had to take time off from doing videos, because like organizing a wedding by yourself is very, very hard, is exhausting, is stressful, and you don't really understand how stressful it can be till you're actually doing it yourself. I took just a pinch of that black. It's just to make the tip of the brush dirty, and I'm concentrating it in the outer corner. Now I'm gonna spray again the Huda Beauty spray, and everyone loved everything. This is what made me happy. I know we were not doing it for other people, we were honestly doing it for ourselves. I don't want it to sound bad, but I didn't have any interest in pleasing anybody else but myself and Pawel. We left that evening happy despite like all the stress, and honestly we had like a couple of people missing. I didn't even realize it till we actually sat down, because I was just focused on him. I wasn't nervous. I have to say, like after I had my hair done, oh by the way, by Neil, again a guy that knows what he's doing. He's been doing hair for like 30 years, something like that. My hair stayed put from 9 o'clock in the morning when he started doing the hair till 12 when I got home. I've never had as many bobby pins as I had in my head that day, but it just stayed put the whole day. And the moment I had so much hairspray, but the moment I brushed my hair, it just looked like I had beach waves, because I had a lower messy bun with fresh flowers on top. He did understand what I wanted. He did what I wanted. For my cheeks, I'm going with the trio of the Benefit that I have, with the Hoola bronzer, the blush, and the highlighter. I'm gonna use these two because I already used the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star bronze. For the top of my cheeks, I did layer 2 highlighters because the highlighter is that thing that I lose quite quickly. I'm gonna put a little bit of the WhatsApp highlighter from the trio, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on the top because I didn't want it to be too strong, because again I want it all to look quite natural. But then I needed to bear in mind that when you take pictures, like part of the makeup just goes. You don't see it, the camera doesn't pick it up. And on top, I'm going with the highlighting part of the Charlotte Tilbury Duo. I didn't contour, I didn't do anything, because again, I want it to look as natural as possible, and I wanted to feel myself. I don't contour on a day-to-day basis. I just don't do all of a structured makeup every day. As mascara, I'm using the Full Fat Lashes by Charlotte Tilbury. This is my favorite mascara. I already curled my eyelashes. I did 2 coats, which is something that I normally do not do, but I didn't want to put any falsies. My eyelashes are quite long on their own. I had them with me, but then I put on everything and I was looking at myself, and I honestly got to the point where I was like, I guess that this is enough. I didn't wear anything waterproof apart from the spray for the makeup to hold it, because I knew I wasn't gonna cry. Plus my mom cried for every single guest. As a lipstick, I use my favorite lipstick in the whole world. Is the Kate Moss with Rimmel collaboration number 08. And that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Do not forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell down below so you're gonna get notified every time I do upload a new video. If you're about to get married, congratulations. Power through the last couple of weeks. Is gonna be worth it, I promise. And if you just got married, congratulations. Enjoy your wedding life. I would like to thank again everyone that took part to our wedding. From the staff at the Eastbury Manor House, everyone was so professional. Mariusz for all the photos, and Mark for the DJing, and Kirsty for the amazing food. Thank you to all of our guests that came and made our day even more special. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So thanks again to all of you, and I'll see you again very soon. Mwah.